What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Draymond Green Show with my dog, BD. What's happening, brother?
What's up, my guy? What's happening, man? Welcome back. Welcome back.
Appreciate you, my brother. Good All-Star weekend.
How you feeling? How you feeling?
Feel great, man. All-Star weekend in the Bay was everything.
Yeah.
It was lit. Great All-Star weekend. I think it showed people what the Bay is capable of.
Yeah.
Got away for a few days with the fam. Got
Amazing.
back to action. Feeling great, bro.
Yeah, man. Feels good to be back. All-Star weekend. It was cool. Glad that I was able to host the dunk contest. That was fun. You know, celebrity game. Damn, y'all should have won the skills challenge.
We should have, man. I blew it.
Man.
I blew it.
Man, y'all should have won the skill. We could have had a clean sweep. I thought Buddy was going to win the three-point shootout. You know, he came out hot. But shout out to Tyler Hero. Shout out to all the people who won. Man, it was a lot of controversy, you know, in the media of All-Star Weekend. But for overall, you know, the Bay had a vibe. You know, all the OGs came out, Run CMC, you know, even the We Believe boys was out. So, you know, it was definitely a vibe. And shout out to the Bay Area for putting on.
Great weekend. Everybody's just out having a good time.
Great time.
Like old times. You know what I'm saying? That was a thing of beauty. I feel really bad for Moses Moody, man. Moses put on for us. I cost Moses the skills championship. Feel awful about it.
You gotta get your skills up, bro.
I feel awful about it.
I practice with you next time, bro.
Bro, the first pass got away from me. Because I had been going through it, bro, and I hadn't, like, you know, I had been practicing stuff. I hadn't struggled with that pass. So, I'm just flowing through, right? So, I had never thought about, like, yo, I lost my cool. I got rattled. I threw that first miss, and I'm like, I run back. I threw it, I was rattled. Then I run to the next one to shoot the shot and knocked all the balls over. I was rattled at that point, bro. I was just like, I caused Moses Moody here.
Yeah, you gotta focus, man.
I was so rattled.
He was trying to go too fast. That's what happened. You was trying to be cool, and you thought, okay, I'm about to go through this like a breeze.
Oh, man.
Didn't.
I got rattled. I got so rattled, I was like, it's over.
Rewind.
It's over, bro. It was crazy, but that was fun.
Yeah.
I definitely thought Buddy was going to take the three-point contest.
Yeah.
But like you said, shout out to Tyler Hero. That was dope.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. So, you know, just moving on. Get back to the start of this season.
I know the season back in, man. Playoff. Now it's playoff fever. Y'all got the first win for the Kings. You guaranteed a championship. You know, it was a nice blowout. Everybody came out. You know, you play well. Steph came out bullying. You know, Moses, Buddy shooting the ball well. You know, how did it feel to pick up where y'all left off heading into All-Star Weekend?
It was great because I think, you know, with the exception of that Dallas game, we have been playing really well in the last 4 or 5 games.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, with the exception of that Dallas game, everything was good. And, you know, going into the All-Star break to go get that win at Houston was big. And then to come out of All-Star break and roll like that against the Kings team who, you know, we've had our back and forth over the last few years. And just to go in there and get that win like that, with everybody playing well, complete team win.
How you feel about that guarantee? You on that?
I believe that we got the pieces to do it. And like I said, I know what that look and feel like. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot of people like, oh, man, how he going to say that ain't done it? What did they say? How you going to talk about how to do it? They never did it? Like, you got all these people out here talking about what I said and how I'm going to do it.
But you did it before.
I've done
over and over.
Over and over and over and over. I know what it look and feel like. I 1,000% wholeheartedly stand all 10 toes down on everything I said. We winning that. And I look forward to all the people that run and duck and hide and then not even acknowledge that, yo, this man said this when they were. The thing about me, BD, is I talk shit when we down 20. I don't really necessarily talk when we up 20. I talk when we down 20. Now, unless you've been like barking, of course I'm going to talk when we up 20, but I talk when we down 20.
Right.
That's when I like to talk. You know what I'm saying? And so
When you're the underdog.
when we 28 and 27, I said what I said. I ain't say it, you know, when everybody else get the clear picture. I said that when we was 28 and 27, and I meant it, and I stand on it. And so I'm looking forward to letting that play out how it may, but I'm excited as hell about this team, man.
Yeah, man, I'm excited too because, you know, in our little group chats with the homies, I keep telling them, y'all got a different identity. And, you know, even in the Kings game, you can see just the way Steph playing is different. The way Jimmy playing is everybody is taking their game to another level. And you look at Pod, you look at Moses, you look at Buddy, you look at all these dudes. Now they can be comfortable in their skin, right? And they don't have to do more than what they have been asked all year. Now they can get back to being, you know, super dynamic. I even saw a video where Jimmy is drawing up a play and he's describing something to you and Pod, you know, like what was y'all cooking up? But just to see that chemistry, like walk me through that moment.
Man, you know, those moments are great. Like I told y'all, Jimmy is an over communicator. You know what I'm saying? Like Jimmy gonna come to you before something ever happened. Like if this happened, we're gonna do this. And I'll be honest with you, I see how people can get tired of Jimmy because if you're not a basketball head, like if you don't love this shit and you over communicate like Jimmy and you dot every T, dot every I and cross every T, losers will get frustrated with that. You know what I'm saying? Like if you don't love, eat, breathe this shit, and more importantly, winning, you can get frustrated with that. So I can see in 2 weeks or 3 weeks, whatever it's been, how someone can get frustrated with Jimmy.
Yep.
Because most people aren't winners. And so the things that he's doing, like when I tell you, to me, it's music to my ears to talk basketball with somebody that know the basketball game like Jimmy and listen and learn, you know, from somebody who know the game like Jimmy. It's music to my ears, him over communicating the way he does.
Right.
But like I said, for somebody who got 1 foot in, 1 foot out, that don't really love it, because let's face it, that's 70% of the league, like that don't really love it, don't really care whether they win or they lose. I can see how you would get shell-shocked and be afraid of that.
Right.
In that moment, Jimmy was drawing up, showing us this play, like, because obviously with our team, there's a lot of denials. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of traps, trying to take Steph out the game and all these things. He was showing us a different way to run a set to open up some, like, to get him in a certain position that's going to open it up. He like, so if they take it away this way, if you just come out this side and do that, that's going to put this guy here and I got him sealed. You know what I'm saying? It's just different stuff like that. That Jimmy, man, he dialed in on it. And like I said, he's such a crazy target. I threw a terrible pass, high as hell yesterday. Goes back like this to get it, body going the opposite way. He go, body going this way. He go back, arm go back this way, get the ball, comes down with a full stride, turn around Jay over DeMar. Like, he's just such an incredible target, man. But, you know, Jimmy is, he a leader, and he knows his stuff, man. And so he teaching, and everybody know he know his stuff. You know what I'm saying? So like I said, this isn't a situation where he got to come somewhere, earn respect, or earn a voice. Like, no, we all know who Jimmy Butler is.
Yeah.
Like, and so you walk through that door, that respect is given. And he coaching guys up, and he teaching, and I'm enjoying learning from him. You know what I'm saying? Just different things, how he see the game, and because it can only help me be better. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And obviously it's helping our team be better.
Who's scoring big in the NBA this season? You are. All the new ways to get in on the action at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. Slams, dishing the ball, cleaning the glass, get behind your favorite players, prop bets you can make on DraftKings. It's fun. The home of NBA player props. If you're ready to place your first bet, make it really simple. Pick how many points your favorite player is going to score. Go to DraftKings Sportsbook. They have an app. Download it. Make your pick. If you're a first-timer, here's something special. New DraftKings customers, all you have to do is bet $5 to get $150 in bonus bets instantly. So take it to the rack with DraftKings Sportsbook. Every point counts. Download their app. Takes 90 seconds. Use the code Colin, COLIN, to get 150 bones in bonus bets, betting just $5. Only on DraftKings. The crown is yours.
Before we dive more into this episode, wanted to let y'all know what me and my dog covering. I know BD got a couple questions about Oscar, Big O.
Oh, yeah, for sure I do.
I know everybody wants to talk about will superstars enter the potential one-on-one contest at All-Star Weekend. And does it matter who the next face of the league is? It does matter, but we'll get into that. But before we do, don't forget to subscribe. So make sure you catch all the episodes. Don't miss nothing.
Also, I will tell y'all who I think my 5 most dangerous teams to watch for the rest of the season. Follow the show on all social media platforms at Draymond Show so you don't miss none of these great announcements. Now, let's get into it.
Well, Draymond said so much, who cares what Draymond says? It doesn't mean anything. People, this is what I mean, one guy can say this and one guy can say that. The game is what it is. People either like the game or they don't, and I think people enjoy the game, especially if their team can win. And you look at the basketball, it might be boring to him because if he's not passing the ball to Curry, what is he doing?
I agree. Triple single is
not to single that out because I think he knows how to play basketball, but he's passed his ball to Curry more than anyone I've ever seen in basketball. And so it means a lot. So, it might be boring to him at times because of what he's doing, maybe it is boring when he's out there. He's not shooting a lot, and he's not guarding a lot. So it's boring.
I thought those comments were very interesting. The Big O is 86 years old.
Respect your elders.
So if you think I'm going to come on here and disrespect because there was disrespect on, that ain't how I roll. I'm never going to disrespect one of the pioneers of the game because he shared a bad opinion. Because, quite frankly, being great at something when it's skill involved doesn't necessarily mean the knowledge matches the greatness of that skill. And I think in basketball, that's oftentimes misconstrued, where you see a guy with great skill and you like, yo, that guy got great skill. In turn, you give that guy respect because of the skill, but the knowledge ain't really there. And so that happens all the time in what we do. That's neither here nor there. What I do know is I know this game as good as most. I know this game through and through and feel like I can sit at the table with anyone and talk this game. So I know I'm stellar in that department. So I have no problems there.
It was a hot take.
When speaking of the Big O, though, because I'm going to really speak about the Big O. As I said, he's 86 years old. If you think disrespect is coming, no chance. We want to enjoy our last years we got with our pioneers. The time we do have left with them, we're going to enjoy that. So,
absolutely.
I'm going to enjoy these last years. And what he's done for this game, when you talk about player free agency, moves, Big O filed a lawsuit that ran over the course of 4 to 5 years that he won. That is one of the main reasons players' salaries went up, so I thank you. That is one of the main reasons players can move around in free agency. I have not moved around in free agency. I haven't taken advantage of that, but I thank you because that is something that has helped this league, my counterparts, myself. So we thank you. When we start talking about knowing the game and how you think the game, I'm not sure what idiot wouldn't want to pass Steph Curry the ball when he's the greatest shooter of all time. I don't really take that personal. Certain games, I'm going to look for him even more than you're accustomed to me looking for him because why wouldn't I? It opens up things for everyone else. Steph Curry is obviously Steph Curry. He's really him. You know what I'm saying? And so, quite honestly, Big O, I get a lot of pleasure out of passing the ball. I actually find a rhythm through passing. I enjoy that. Always been that way my whole life. Even at the time in my life when I was predominantly a scorer. because, we all was that at some point in our careers. So I always been a pass first guy, just how I play the game. For a guy that averaged 11 assists, you were also passing the ball. You cannot quite average 11 assists and not pass the ball. In the year that Big O won the championship, when he was starting to age, you were passing the ball to Kareem Abdul-Jabbar himself. Not quite sure where the dig come from. I was also extremely surprised, BD, because during the skills challenge that I blew, I saw him on the sideline. And I got up out my seat. I went and said hello. And he's like, oh, man, you still out there doing it. Keep on going. I love watching you play, man. I just love watching you play. You keep going. And so to hear him say that, and then the next morning he completely flip and go opposite, I was a little surprised by that, I must say, because it wasn't quite that same energy when I saw him. And by the way, if he told me right in my face, like, hey, we don't care what you say, you just passed Steph Curry, I'd be like, all right, Big O, respect. That's your opinion. Quite honestly, at 86, I'm pretty sure Big O ain't watching many of our games. Big O sound asleep by the time we play at night. Like, he's sound asleep.
Bro, you got to stop.
BD,
bro,
there's 0% chance.
Bro, leave Big O.
Big O is up watching the dog.
We love you, Big O.
No, we love Big O for
You're
sure.
A pioneer.
But
it was a
absolutely.
hot take. And you got to think about it sometimes. You got to think about it like, we all in church. You know what I'm saying? We see people in church, right? You're going to act a certain way. When you get out of church, that's where you go get hot. And it was just a hot take, man.
It was a very hot take. But then he said, I ain't guarding nobody. That's how I know Big O ain't watching the game. He said, I ain't guarding nobody. Big O can't be watching the game. Lastly, BD, check this out. Big O
is the cornerstone.
Is a one-time NBA champion, one-time NBA most valuable player, 12-time NBA All-Star. And if I'm not mistaken, I think he played 12 seasons. 3-time All-Star MVP, 9-time first-team NBA, 2-time second-team NBA, Rookie of the Year, 6-time assist leader.
Come on, that's a senior deacon.
Listen,
a senior deacon.
Yes, he is.
Come on.
And he got the respect from me, which is why I ain't crushing him how I would crush somebody else. I ain't gonna crush Big O. He got
all
my
the credentials. Yeah,
I got my respect. But
sure.
Nonetheless, I ain't trying to make myself out to be Big O or none of that. But I'm gonna tell you, last thing I'm gonna say about Big O, BD, he got upset at me. If he actually read my comments, it was talking about the game is boring. And it was talking about the game is boring because I actually said we played the Lakers maybe a week or two ago. And when we played them, it was a chess match with Bron. Like every play, you're trying to figure something else out. And that's how the game used to be when I came in. And I loved that. But now there's no vets in the NBA no more. They got rid of all the vets. So you don't play those chess matches no more. The reality is, sometimes it's just who can hit the most shots at a certain time. We lost to Utah. We lost to Utah a week before break or whatever it was. We were up 16 points. They scored 20 points. Look, Utah's the worst team in the league, I think, by record. If not by record, they're close to it by record, right? Like, they scored 20 points in 3 minutes, and we didn't play bad defense. They scored 20. That is the new NBA. Our commissioner, everybody get mad at me like I said something crazy. Our commissioner, two months ago, just was talking about correcting the three-point problem, right? Like, I'm working on correcting the three-point issue. Our commissioner said that. To me, that was along those same lines because that's along to what I was saying, right? Like, you don't get to thinking the game anymore. So I was really surprised, and how I know Big O be sleep watching the game, not watching the games, because he also just heard somebody say, Draymond said the game's boring and didn't have any context. Because if he had context, I'm more so actually applauding the way the NBA used to be. So I'm actually applauding him in his era more, if anything. And so, I just tell Big O, make sure whoever, keeping him up to date on his things is actually keep giving him context because, Big O 86, man. We love Big O.
We love Big O. Another moment during All-Star Weekend, Charles Barkley, blame your generation of basketball for messing up the All-Star game. Quote, I'm going to disagree with Draymond a lot. They messed the game up. His generation messed the game up. We're doing every type of trick to make the weekend exciting. What are your thoughts on what Chuck is talking about?
I think doing every type of trick is the problem, which was my point, that we're doing every trick. But this is about a basketball game. And basketball game is simply what? A basketball game. Because we played 32 minutes of basketball on a 3-hour telecast. But it was supposed to be a basketball game. And so my word was actually, let's just play a basketball game. Let's make this East versus West and maybe make that mean something. You know what I'm saying? Like,
can we get back to that?
Can you make that mean something? Right? But I also think, like, BD, basketball is so much more nuanced today than it was 20 years ago. That is with anything that develops over the course of 20 years, right? There's going to be more nuance because you just learn more, right? Like, coaches get smarter, plays get trickier, defensive adjustments get, like, all that stuff, it grows. And so, in saying that, people want to see an incredible basketball game, but there's no real practice. The practice is for the fans. You shoot half-court shots, you shoot layups. You have to put guys in position to approach just like they approach real games. In turn, you may have to extend the All-Star break because you can't punish those guys for being All-Stars and they don't get a break. But at the same time, you probably need a couple days of real practice if you want a real game. You need guys getting ready for the game like they get ready, prepare for a real game, shooting times, all of this. You don't get all of that stuff before an All-Star game. You take pictures. You know what I'm saying? So you do starting lineups. It's all a show. But then you want premier operating systems, that is players. You want premier operating systems operating at their highest capability, and you just booted up the processor.
I don't even think it's that. Mike, you just want people to play defense. Everybody saying all kind of shit. All it is a commitment to playing some type of defense and to stop a basket. But it's also, if everybody is an offensive player, right, that's in the All-Star game, then you're not going to have a real game. Because it's a showcase. They just going to dunk, you know what I mean? And they're going to dunk. It's going to be threes. It's going to be half-court shots. And nobody's going to play defense. When are you going to reward the defensive guys, the guys who hold down the fort? Because they're going to come into the All-Star game playing defense. If people play a little bit of defense, then you can't help but get competitive if you're playing defense.
I agree with that, but I also think that is also part of preparation. Like, what is the preparation for the game? Like, if I haven't prepared for a game, guess what I'm going to do, BD? I'm going to take a few shots. Like, guys, like, you're going to take some shots. But you ain't about to sit down and move and, like, you ain't doing all of that. But offense is up to you, right? Like, you're dictating where you're trying to get, where you're trying to go. That's a different thing.
Yeah, but it's like, you just got to take it personal, right?
But what's to take personal?
Steph versus Kyrie. That ain't personal enough for you? Like, I'm not just going to let Steph shoot a three on me, or if I'm Kyrie, or if I'm Steph, let Kyrie just shoot a three. I want to see, like, if they take a little bit of challenge, like, you know what? You're not scoring on me, whether it's Joker or Wemby. Like, yeah, I'm not letting him score on me. That's the personal.
In the Instagram era, brother, don't nobody want to get embarrassed during the Instagram era.
Then you know what? It ain't gonna be no one-on-one.
I agree.
It ain't gonna be no one-on-one. Man, it's the best players in the world. Nobody can guard nobody. But at the same time, in the All-Star game, like, if Kobe guard me, right, I'm trying to go at Kobe. He not trying to let me get off.
All the casuals on Instagram that sit behind their computers and talk junk about people that's talking about, oh, we want to see a great game. Well, your nasty habits on Instagram has ruined it. because no one wants to get embarrassed. So everybody go out there and be cool. And it is what it is.
It's just a defense. I think it's just a defensive challenge. Since guaranteeing the chip, the comments and the media have y'all viewed as underdogs. You've been an underdog. You've been the lead dog within the 4 championships. Which one is better for you?
Underdog. Everybody counting you out, that's always better. I've been an underdog my whole life. Like, that was my story coming up. When you win as an underdog, when people telling you can't do, when everybody jump on the bandwagon, oh, they gonna win. That's like, get out of here. Like, I hate bandwagoners. But when you ain't got nobody on the bandwagon and you go win, a la 2015, a la 2022, when you go do that, them the fun ones. That's when you like, oh man, like, wow, like shut up. Like that's underdog for sure, any day.
Talk about the importance of starting the second half of the season well. The Warriors, 26 games left, currently in 9th in the West. The next 4 games, you have the Mavericks at home, Hornets at home, Magic away, Sixers away. Talk to the fans about how important it is to get off to a good second back end of an All-Star game.
I think it's very important, especially in the place that we're in. We let some games get away early that we talked about that we shouldn't have, but we are where we are. And so for us, it's important to get off to a good start because every game count. We in playoff mode. You know what I'm saying? We gotta approach these next 26 like the playoffs. We want to give ourselves the best position as possible when it comes from seeding. And to my knowledge, from what I've heard, I think we're only maybe 3 games out of 6 or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know that to be certain, but because I don't follow the standings. The way I approach it, win every game you can and check at the end. Like, I think, if we win every game that we can and check at the end, I think that'll leave us in a pretty good position. And so that's kind of how I approach it. But it's important to get off to a good start because you got to build on that. And, you're establishing now, the season going waves, as you know, and now you're establishing and this is the team we need to be in order to reach our ultimate goal.
Right.
And you feel more of a sense of urgency those last 26 games because you can see that light at the end of the tunnel, man. I don't think people understand, BD, how I feel. You look up and they say game 11 of 82. Like, you can't see the light at the end of the tunnel. You can't even see the All-Star break at the end of the tunnel. And so, 26 games, you pass the All-Star break, you rejuvenated. Now you come back and you're like, all right, we can see that light at the end of the tunnel. We know what we plan and working for. And I think, that's why it's important for us, to get off to a great start these next 4. We're going on a road trip. I think it's also a good road trip for us. Like, it'll be a tough road trip for sure. But I think it's some winnable games that we can go take, and we need to make sure we're taking care of our business and going to do that.
I like that. Taking one game at a time.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely. You can't look past nobody in the NBA, especially these days where everybody's scoring. I told you, Utah gave us 20 points, put up 20 points in 3 minutes.
Yeah, you got to grab a couple makeup games, too, that got away from you. So you got to make sure you win the ones you're supposed to win, and then you got to grab the games that you're not supposed to win.
Absolutely. Move around the league a little bit. The biggest news coming out of All-Star break around the league is Victor Wembanyama will be out for the rest of the season due to deep vein thrombosis in his right shoulder. That is blood clotting. Some form of blood clotting in his right shoulder. Number one, whoever was the trainer that figured that out to even send that for testing,
kudos.
I tip my hat to you. Kudos to you, because that's serious. You're talking about blood clotting, that's life-threatening. Other players that's gone through this, Chris Bosh, this ended Chris Bosh's career at 32. Ausar Thompson, this ended his rookie season early. He just got back maybe a month and a half, 2 months ago from that. Wow. And also some form of it LaMarcus Aldridge dealt with towards the end of his career, which kind of shut L.A. down as well. I don't know if it was this exact thing, but I know it was some form of blood clotting that slowed LA down and ultimately forced him into retirement as well. And so really sending my love and well wishes to Vic because that is something that, like, he has to be aware of that for the rest of his career. Like, we all hope and believe and think that he's going to make a full recovery, but in making a full recovery, that's blood clotting, that's within. He can't necessarily get on blood thinners because then it make you bruise easily and it doesn't allow you to heal properly as far as basketball goes. And so it's a tough, tricky thing, man, and it's something that he could possibly deal with even once getting past it. And so just sending our love and well wishes to Vic in dealing with this.
Big prayers, big prayers.
Sounds like there's a lot of interest from players like Kyrie, James, Giannis, Dame. KD kind of downplayed it, but KD loved playing ones. KD play ones every day anyway. As far as the one-on-one tournament during the NBA All-Star Weekend next year would be. Unrivaled did one this year. Nafisa Collier won that one. Do you think you ultimately get the best players to participate in a one-on-one game?
I think they would do it. I think Giannis will win now.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think Giannis will win. Whoever can play defense.
Is it a dribble limit? You can't have a million dribbles with NBA players.
No, you can have 5. You can do 3 dribbles, 5 dribbles. Like, none of those little guards can stop Giannis. But Giannis got defense, right? So he can pretty much affect their shot. You should get like 5. You should get a 6-second shot clock rundown.
Hey, man, I tell you what, though.
5.
I was about to say 6 seconds on one-on-one. It's a long time to guard somebody one-on-one in NBA, man.
It should be catch the ball 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yeah, it should be 5 seconds. It'd be dope to see, Kyrie, Harden, all these dudes go at each other who are, incredible one-on-one players in the game itself to do that for All-Star Weekend. I'd love to see something like that. Shout out to Unrivaled for doing it. Nafisa Collier, she brought out the bag, right?
She did.
And she played defense too.
She does.
So if you got some offense and defense and you're a big man, I like Giannis' chances.
I'm taking KD because KD can check anybody and KD can score better than anybody.
I like KD too.
I'm taking KD. I got to roll with KD.
Yeah.
I got to roll with K. K can guard anybody. He shoot over everybody.
Paolo Banchero.
Paolo can play for sure. Paolo can play. That's a fact. And he from Seattle. They got the ones.
And James Harden. If he get rolling, ain't nobody gonna be able to stop him.
That's a fact. But you just said you gotta play defense.
Right, but I said if he get rolling.
Uno been guarding this year, though. He been guarding this year. Jeff Van Gundy got Uno guarding this year.
He's serious. He's serious. He focused. He got the Clippers rolling. Chris Hayes reported that SGA will represent himself for all on-court decisions. That means he's up for a $300 million contract this summer and joins Joel Embiid as another player representing himself. I know what you think. What do you think about this move?
Listen, I think I saw that this can save him $12 million in agent fees. Listen, $12 million saved is a lot of money. I just will warn him, be very careful of how much money you could be costing yourself because there's things in the contract that great representation great representation know that you should have in your contract. Now,
right.
A lot of guys ain't never had great representation and they don't really know the capabilities and possibilities of a contract and what could be in there and what should be in there. And so I think a lot of people make the mistake of like, he gonna get the 345 or whatever the number is, he gonna get that anyway, so it doesn't matter. And the reality is, it's the fine print. There's a lot of things that goes into a contract that is more than just the dollar amount that one receives. So, in saying that, I think, make sure that he's getting all that he can out of that contract.
Mm-hmm.
That's just not about what the end dollar amount is.
For
if
sure.
he can do that and save $12 million,
he Gucci.
I get it. But, and like I always say, I don't think Elon Musk is reading the legal on his deals that he do.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I don't think.
It's got to get a good team.
You know what I'm saying? I don't think, I don't foresee that Jack Dorsey read all the legal when he sold Twitter for $44 billion to Elon Musk. I personally don't think that that's the case. And so, me personally, I want to find great representation like those guys do.
I'm with SGA representing them. So, you just got to build the right council, right? Build the right council, build the right team, build the right advisors, have all your checks and balances, and just hire somebody who have strategic know-how. Also on the heels of All-Star Weekend, out of all the commotion in the media, was my man Ant-Man saying, I'm capable of being that guy, but I don't want to be that guy. Meaning, I don't want to be the face of the league. He said Wemby should be the face of the league. What makes someone the face of the league?
Man, what makes someone the face of the league? Number one, you got the game. You gotta have the game first and foremost. You can be as clean cut as you want, the biggest steward of the game you want to be. If you don't got the game to match it, you cannot be the face of the NBA. You must be generational. You must have elite ability. That is number one. Number two, you must represent the league in a positive manner, a positive light. When you look at the logo, that is what matters most. This is a multi-billion-dollar corporation, and how you represent that logo on and off the basketball court matters. You cannot be the face of the NBA if you don't win, because the NBA cannot market you in the biggest moments if you don't win or have never been a winner. And so you must win. That must happen in order for you to be the face of the NBA. We've seen a numerous amount of guys start getting that hype and a little push and a little marketing push, and if they don't win, it goes to hell, because we can't market you, we can't show you on the biggest stage.
Right.
That does not work for being the face of the NBA. And saying all of those things, to hear Ant-Man say, I am capable of being that guy, but I don't want to be, I agree with him. He is capable of being that guy from basketball standpoint, talent standpoint. He got all of that. To be that, though, he has to go win. Yep. He has to continue to elevate his game to another level, take that next step. And he got to be better with his interviews, off the court stuff, how he presents himself. I think, and that's what when he's saying, I don't want to be that guy, those things will show that. But regardless of all of that, Ant-Man's 23, 24. If you're going to be that, right now is the time that you have to be building that. You can't start trying to be that at 27. And so my thing would just be, I hope he understands that the opportunity that's in front of him, and know that it doesn't come back around. Like,
it's
you
not.
get a shot at it,
Yeah, that's
and
it.
once that shot is gone, it don't come back around. Yeah. And so I hope it is. I hope that Ant-Man understands that and is not making a decision at 23 that at 27, 28, 29, he's going to regret.
Yep.
In saying that, I saw what Melo said, and I also want y'all to understand something. By no means is this any disrespect. Melo is the OG. That's my OG. Never would disrespect him, but I saw what Melo said publicly, so I'm going to say this publicly. And then I'm going to hit Melo and let him know I said this publicly, because that is my OG. Melo was talking about Ant-Man. He said some things along the lines of, you don't get to pick, which he's right. But I felt like Melo was going at Ant-Man a little bit. And when I look back at Melo's career, because I was a huge Melo fan, watching him when I was growing up, the way he scored the basketball, Melo had to clean some things up on his way through the league. Melo had a bad rap. Melo's talked about this publicly before when he said the NBA is the FBI, and he said David Stern called him into the office and started saying all these things. He was like, yo. So Melo has spoke about this publicly before, which is why I feel comfortable publicly saying this. Melo struggled a bit coming in early, was not on that right trajectory to become the face of the league, had the talent, but other things wasn't quite matching up, right, in order to become that face of the league. And so my thing to Melo would be, and maybe he has, because I know Melo a real one, call Ant-Man, guide him to these things, share your experiences with him. Help him understand that you had that opportunity too, and maybe some of the things that you could have been doing cost you that opportunity. If it did, I don't know for certain that it did, but if it did. But I would just say call him, guide him. And the reason I say that is because it ain't many of them guys that's like one of them ones. Like you don't come around them often. You know what I'm saying? And Melo is a steward, one of the OGs, pioneer of Team USA basketball, and it becoming what it's become. Ant-Man is kind of taking over those reins. Guide him and show him what that means. And so I think that would be my only thing on it. Ant-Man struggling a little bit in different areas this year. As a guy who struggled, I can't be a guy to sit up here and throw darts about that. I know how hard it is. But I do think he's capable of being that guy from a talent standpoint. You know, it does have to be something that you want because it requires you to do so much more than just play basketball.
When you look at LeBron, when you look at KD, when he won the championships, right? When you go through the history of being a champion and being the man on the championship team, you ain't got no choice. Look at Jason Tatum. Boston win it again. He's the face of the league, right? When Melo was coming up, a little different, Melo had to fight to get a face to be one of the faces of the league. Because it's Kobe, it's Duncan, it's, you know, it's all kind of legacy that precede him, you know? And so for Ant-Man, there's a lot of legacy that precede him, but Melo was trying to take them people out. Ant-Man got to try to take them out. And by him saying, I don't want to be that guy, like to me is saying, well, what do you want to be? Like, how far do you want to take it? What do you need to take it there? Because if you don't want to be that guy, then somebody else is going to come along on this sushi boat of incredibly talented kids and say, you know what? I'll take it.
I'll take it.
Right? I'll take it. And I'll take my game to the next level till I win the championship. And I think that's what it's really about when you got somebody like him and his talent.
1,000%. I agree with that. I definitely agree with that. It's touchy, man. Once you lose it, it's tough.
It don't boomerang back to you, buddy.
Before we get out of here, man, I got 5 on it. It's our segment. I got 5 on it this time. BD will pick 5 of the most dangerous teams during the final stretch of the NBA season. These are teams that he feels, if they catch fire, would be a real threat to win the NBA championship. Who you got, BD?
All right, I'm going to my standings list right now. I got Cleveland. I got Boston. Then when I come over to the Western Conference, I got Denver. I got the Clippers. And I have the Golden State Warriors at number 5. Any of those teams get hot in the West, is going to be problems.
I agree. And Denver hot right now.
I'm taking Cleveland and Boston because their pace and their style of play in the Eastern Conference, I don't feel like any team can really keep up with their pace and their style, right? Their ball movement, the way they shoot the three, the way they create one-on-one mismatches, the way they play for each other, the way 4 or 5 or 6 guys on the team can beat you. Cleveland and Boston are, to me, the mirror images of each other. When I go to the West and I talk about Denver, I think Denver is starting to get back to championship pedigree. They had some fatigue, right? They missed, they missed the finals. They didn't have a great playoffs last year. Now, with Russ, they got another force. They got another, source of energy. Jamal Murray coming back. Aaron Gordon shooting the ball well. They have a chemistry, and I felt like if they are somewhere around 3 or 4, where they can have some home court advantage in the first couple rounds, they're going to be dangerous. The Los Angeles Clippers, the beard. The beard is all grown up. It's a full-grown beard. It's a bouffant beard. The beard with the claw, Norman Powell. You look at Zubac. The Clippers are playing defense. And I think people underestimate them on the defensive end. And then offensively, with Kawhi, with Zubac, the way he's playing with Norman Powell. And then my X factor for the Clippers is Ben Simmons. Get Ben Simmons comfortable. Get Ben Simmons playing, aggressive at a high frequency. Clippers are dangerous. And then number 5, the Warriors. I just like what this new Warrior look like. This new Warrior energy, this new Warrior team. Everybody in their roles. Kuminga coming back. I just feel like you now are where you were at the beginning of the year, but you're a much better team.
Mm-hmm.
You're a much solid team. Reliable, down the stretch, getting free throws, down the stretch, Steph Curry burning you from 3, or now Buddy Hield, Moses, Pod, people filling into their natural positions with a Jimmy Butler there. And Draymond Green, with Wemby out, with AD out, Draymond Green is the front runner for Defensive Player of the Year. So that got to happen.
That's definitely going to happen now. I need to put that together. With Wemby going out, it opened it up.
Here.
Opens it up. Let me try to put one up.
Come on, the
rest of that
championship
together.
guarantee. I want to guarantee Draymond Green is going to be the Defensive Player of the Year.
Let's put the rest of that together.
Let's do it.
Man, that's fire. I like those teams. I think, each one of those teams can definitely have a chance coming down the stretch. So we'll see. Y'all know my guarantee. That's a wrap. In this episode of the Draymond Green Show with my dog, the legend Baron Davis, BD.
Be out. Love.
Peace.